All right, Bimang, today's Thursday, it is September 22nd. Welcome to the Dog Walk presented by Barstool Sports. I'm joined by a guest I've had on the show multiple times. He's on Zoom. He's on the East Coast. He's my guy, the Vindog. Vindog, how are you? Welcome back.
Oh, I'm doing okay, and thanks for having me back on the show.
It's always great
My
to have
favorite
you.
place to be.
Yeah, exactly. We talked ghosts before. We talked about the ice cream truck. We've talked. We've drafted fruit. We've had some good times on here, Vindog.
We have, absolutely.
Hey, before we kick things off here with Vindog, I do want to talk about the exclusive ticketing partner of Barstool Sports, and you guys already know that it's the Game Time app. It was created by fans for fans. Game Time is a new ticketing app that makes it easier than ever to score last-minute deals on tickets to sports, concerts, and shows, and they guarantee the lowest price. If you haven't given Game Time a shot yet, you don't know what you're waiting. I don't know what you're waiting for. You guys should get on the app right now because you're going to love it. We have tons of Barstool fans using it. They hit us up on social and they tell us about the great deals they're getting. So that could be you, okay? If you want to hop on there, go check out. I know Harry Styles is coming to United Center soon. Obviously, your last fair share of Cubs, White Sox games. Well, who knows about the White Sox, but the Cubs definitely. And the Bears are here, so it's football season. And the app is so easy to use. It has amazing deals, and it's the fastest growing ticketing app in the U.S. You're going to love it. Download the Game Time app, go to the account tab to create a login and redeem code DOGWALK for $20 off your first purchase. Terms do apply. Download Game Time. Last minute tickets, lowest price guaranteed. Yeah, but today's circumstance is a little different, right? You're going through prostate cancer, and we talked about it before. We've been DMing back and forth a little bit, and just keeping me updated. So that's kind of what we're going to get into. And I think you broke the news to everybody last Thursday or so, was it?
Yeah, I kind of did a little something on Twitter a while back, and my doctor said to me, Vin, because he follows me on Barstool and he reads my blogs. And he goes, you really have an opportunity to write a blog about this. You should do it. So I sat down, this is like a month and a half ago, and I wrote the blog. I got very depressed, and I just put it in my folder, and I walked away from it. I said, nope, not doing it. I didn't want to do it. Mm-hmm. And then all of a sudden, I decided, you know what? I'm going to write another blog, and I'll approach it a little differently than the first one. And I got to publish this because you start to think things happen for a reason. And, as a plumber, as an instructor, plumbing instructor, I didn't have any place where I could voice stuff like this. And here I am at Barstool. I have an opportunity to talk about prostate cancer and reach a lot of guys. I mean, let's face it, we do have a lot of women on Barstool now, but we're still a male-dominated, thing. And there's a lot of guys, and I wanted to get the word out there. And when I first put it out on Twitter, I got incredible responses from a lot of different people. My father had it, my uncle had it, I have it right now, my brother got it. And it was like, wow. It's like when you buy a white Chevy van and you think you've got the only one and you start driving around and everybody else has got a white Chevy van. It's like, okay, I got prostate cancer, and holy shit.
Yeah.
Look at how many people have it or have had it. When you mention it, it isn't the topic of conversation, but when you mention it, then people come out and they're willing to share their stories. And it's pretty incredible. With me, it was a little different. I was feeling pretty healthy. I blew out my left knee, of all things, doing a live action meme. And I went to my doctor. He felt it. He said, it doesn't feel bad. We can do an x-ray. Did an x-ray. You're all right. Just ice it and go easy for a couple of weeks. You'll be fine. Well, 2 weeks later, I still couldn't walk very well. So I went to an orthopedic. The physician's assistant was there. And I swear she had a cortisone shot behind her back the whole time, just waiting to jab me in the knee. So we talked. And she goes, I can give you a cortisone shot. I said, all right, go ahead. So she gave me a shot. My left knee, within 2 weeks, was feeling really good. And I started walking with my wife. We do some power walking together. And then I blew out my right knee. So now I had two bad knees. And I couldn't walk. I was on crutches. I was taking care of my son's dog. She was out in the backyard. She started digging. I couldn't catch her. I finally caught her. I lifted her up. Two bad knees. and I pulled my groin. You ever have a groin pull? Not fun.
Yeah.
So now I had two bad knees, a groin pull. I'm like, holy shit, I'm getting my knee fixed because I'm not going through this crap. So I called my regular doctor up. I said, hey, I got to go have knee surgery. So we have to get a plan together for going off of blood thinners, which I'm on. And you got to go off them before surgery so you don't bleed out. And he said, Vin, before you have surgery on your knee, you should have a full physical. So I'm not a doctor guy. I don't like going to doctors. I don't like going to hospitals. Have avoided physicals, which no one out there should do. Don't be like me. And he was right. I needed to have a physical. So I went in, I had the full physical. And at one point, they snap on the glove, get out the Vaseline. And, sorry, Vin, gotta check your prostate. They give you the old digital prostate exam. So I'm like, all right, I can do it. So he does it. And he says to me, he goes, wow, for a 65-year-old guy, you've got a perfect prostate. I was really? He goes, yeah, smooth, right size. Took his finger out. You're doing great. So I went home kind of celebrating the whole idea of it. And I tweeted about it, that my doctor just told me I had, for a 65-year-old man, I have the perfect prostate. So what if I'm farting Vaseline the rest of the day? I'm fine. And I really felt good. And then the next day, I'm sitting at my computer and I'm typing out a blog. And the phone rings. And I see it. Oh, it's my doctor. Right away, I got a little nervous. I'm like, what's he doing calling me? I mean, we just went through all this. And so I get on the phone. I go, hey, doc, what's up? He goes, listen, I'm going to get right to the point. We just got your blood work back. Your PSA number's high. I says, yeah, what is that? And he goes, prostate. You just checked it yesterday and you told me it was perfect. And he says, yeah, but I'm not a urologist. And I'm thinking to myself, for the last 20 years, this guy stuck his finger up my ass. What was he doing? If he's not a urologist, what the fuck was he doing? And he said to me, he goes, I can only feel one part of it. So the part I felt was fine, but your blood work is not good. I says, do I have prostate cancer? Am I going to die? I mean, that was my first thought. And he goes, I can't tell you what's going to happen. You have to go see a urologist. So I hung up the phone and, in that moment, my whole world crumbled. I just anticipated that this is not good.
And what month? What month was this, Vindog?
This was actually, I went for that physical May 10th.
Okay.
The surgery was supposed to be May 11th on my right knee. It was a meniscus cartilage repair. We canceled it, and I went in May 10th, and I had the physical. So he called me May 11th and told me the bad news. I called my wife. She said, and my wife's a 5-time cancer survivor, and I was her caregiver. And the amazing thing is, during her cancer, I was nothing but positive, all the way, supportive, great caregiver. But when it came to me, suddenly I couldn't be that person for myself. I just really got very anxious. My doctor said to me, you're suffering from situational anxiety and depression. You just got some bad news, and it affects people differently, and it did. It floored me. So then I started the whole journey of, seeing a urologist. And fortunately, my wife wanted me to go to Dana-Farber, Brigham Women's, and they have a satellite at Gillette, and we set up an appointment with a guy who works out of that satellite in Gillette 2 days a week from, Dana-Farber, Brigham and Women's. And I went in to meet with him, and he said to me, we have to do another PSA test and see where your number is today. So we did another test. We talked, and the number went down a little bit, but not enough to get me in the clear. So he said to me, you're going to have to have a prostate MRI. Now, 5 years ago, they didn't have these. It's really, technology has gone way over, and they have a special prostate MRI. Unlike the digital prostate exam my doctor gave me, this goes all the way around. So it actually can look at your prostate at all different angles, different sides. So we did that. I got the result back, and it said most likely cancer, but it hasn't spread beyond the prostate. So the urologist was quick to say that to me. Look, most likely cancer, but it hasn't spread. That's the good news. It's contained. and you have a small tumor in there. So the whole time, I was thinking about the tumor as like an alien banging on the inside walls of my prostate, trying to get out. And I was afraid he's going to get out and poison my body. And then when I finally, went beyond that, I had a prostate biopsy. Not for the faint of heart. Difficult little thing to have, but I had a good doctor. They numbed me up for it. And they take samples and they run them through and they see what parts of your prostate have cancer. And I did that and they came back with numbers. And sure enough, one side is benign, the other side has some cancer. And the lower portion of it they have a way they have a scale. And they actually said to me that's where the cancer is the strongest on you, is the bottom right side. But the number is a Gleason number. The numbers go like 1 through 9, 10, whatever. And I was in the 3 range, and one of them was in the 4 range. The 4 range is getting a little tricky. 5 range gets trickier, 6, 7. But they said to me, when I went to see eventually after the prostate biopsy, I went to see a surgical oncologist. It's the guy who did my biopsy. I went to see a radiation oncologist. This is all at Dana. And I went to see a medical oncologist. And all 3 of them said to me, the kind of cancer you have is curable. And you can either have surgery or you can do radiation. And there's no wrong answer. Whatever you feel comfortable doing. So given my age, they said that people 50 years old and younger, 50 in the 50s, they suggest the surgery. They're young, they can handle surgery. People in their 70s, they suggest radiation. I'm 66, So they said, you're kind of in the middle. You can do either. And I thought, I think I want to go with the radiation. So I made my choice. There's a lot of stuff involved with radiation. There's hormone therapy. There's a lot of stuff before you actually start the radiation. So I got to meet, fortunately for me, in Mansfield, there's a radiation center, and they actually do the type of radiation I need. Otherwise, I would have had to drive into Boston 5 days a week. So that was a good thing. So I'm trying to focus on the positive, and it's not easy. Enjoy your youth, enjoy your prostate. I wondered to myself, it's the size of a fucking walnut, and it provides you with so much fun and excitement in your lifetime. And then you get older and it turns on you. It's like, you little bastard. Now you got to deal with it. You can't run from it. You have to confront it. And confronting is not easy. I went into, I had several months. I didn't want to leave the house. Didn't want to do anything. I found it difficult to write a blog and focus on different things. I was just consumed by it, and the negative part of it too. So I've struggled with it, but I'm getting better. And I'm talking to someone from Dana, and they said the closer you get to actual treatment, the easier it'll get, because you don't know. What you don't know scares you. And as you go down the journey and you get to areas where you find out, okay, here's what I got. Here's where it is. Here's how we're going to cure it. It is curable. It hasn't spread. Now you start to feel a little bit better about your chances, And, right now that's where I'm at. I'm taking hormone therapy, which, like I wrote about it in my blog, Doug Flutie and the Big Hurt, your guy from Chicago, they're pushing testosterone, And I almost bought it one time. I thought, hey, who doesn't want more energy, more strength, more stamina in the bedroom? And I almost did it. But as I got involved in this, my medical oncologist said to me, prostate cancer thrives on testosterone. So the first thing we have to do is cut out the testosterone. We can't feed this thing. We want to starve it. We want to shrink it. Then we're going to blast it with radiation. So here's the deal. You're going to take pills. You're going to get a shot once every 3 months. It's going to cut back your testosterone. You're going to lose muscle tone. You're going to get some belly fat. And you're going to lose your sex drive completely. But it's temporary. And once we get that tumor out and you're cancer-free, you'll go right back. So I thought, okay, I'll do whatever it is I got to do, you know. The nice thing is I reached out to a few people, you know, on Twitter who reached out to me. And one of the guys I reached out to, this guy, Ken, he's a plumber. He spent close to 30 years, I think, teaching vocational education as a plumbing instructor, like me. And he has 3 boys, just like me. And he had prostate cancer. And he got it when he was in his early 50s. And we talked at length. Great guy. Great to talk to somebody who's been through the whole process, giving you the positives and telling you it might be difficult at the beginning, but you're going to be all right. I'm fine now. I go to the gym. I run. My life, you'd never even know I had prostate cancer. He was a little younger than me when he found out, so he had the surgery. But I spoke to other guys in Cleveland. I spoke to another guy in Boston. They hook you up with people to talk to. You know, guys don't really like talking about stuff, you know. So it is kind of nice to talk to people who are willing to talk to you about this, you know, and just share your experience and know that you're not alone. The feelings that I had, same feelings these other guys had. You feel betrayed. You feel like this is it. It's not going to look good for me. And then you start to recover from that, accept what happened to you, and then you try and move forward and get the right treatment and extend your life. So that's pretty much what I've been trying to do.
Hey, on that note about Vindog feeling better by talking to people, now a word from our sponsor, BetterHelp. It can be tough to train your brain to stay in problem-solving mode when faced with a challenge in life, but when you learn how to find your own solutions, there's no better feeling. A therapist can help you become a better problem solver, making it easier than ever to accomplish your goals, no matter how big or small. I don't think you could really have a better endorsement when it comes to talking to people than what you just heard from Vindog. They heard about when he first had his diagnosis. He had a really tough time, even blogging about it. He started the blog for a month and a half. And, you know, once he did, all the stoolies and everybody reaching out helped. And I think that's a great advocate and a great avenue for, you know, someone to try therapy possibly. So if you're thinking of giving therapy a try, BetterHelp is a great option. It's convenient, accessible, affordable, and entirely online. You can get matched with a therapist after filling out a brief survey and switch therapists at any time. When you want to be a better problem solver, therapy can get you there. Visit BetterHelp.com/walk today to get 10% off your first month. That's BetterHelp.com/walk. Go check out BetterHelp. All right, let's get back into the show. Wow, yeah. I mean, when did you start all the treatment and everything?
The hormone therapy, they want to give you that for 2 months prior to radiation.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, they gave me the pills at the end of August, middle, end of August. And they said I can start them whenever I want. We picked a date. And I was pretty anxious about starting it because I knew what they were. And the pills only cut down 2% of your testosterone. The shot they give you, and they give it to you in your ass, that takes care of 98% of it. So they wanted me on the pill for 2 weeks, and then I went in and had the shot in the butt probably about a week and a half ago.
Gotcha. So you're about a month in with that.
Yeah, well, I'm a month into, you know, having made my decision and starting the treatment. I have a few other things I have to do, just some unpleasant things that have to be done. They put what they call fiduciary markers on your prostate so the cancer can zoom in on those spots so it doesn't destroy other tissue. That's the hope, you know, because that radiation's, it's great stuff to get rid of cancer, but it's nasty stuff for your body.
Yeah.
So they want to make sure it's focused on a spot. So they got to get in there, and it's the same thing as a biopsy all over again.
Mm-hmm.
So that's coming up. I got to get a colonoscopy. That's coming up. So, I never was so busy down here in my life, even in my prime. I mean, holy shit, it's a busy spot now. But I just want to get to the point where I'm going to Mansfield and I'm getting radiation. And, you know, I got to make a decision. They either have 28-day stuff or 44. So the 28 days, they're giving you a higher dose of radiation each time. Same thing in the end. You get the same amount. But it's done in 28 days. Or you can do the 44 days. And the advantage is when you go 44, the feeling is you're less likely to have some of the side effects because you're getting less each time. Some people are traveling great distances to get to radiation, and they want to do it in 28. I'm very close. I'm 12 minutes from the place in Mansfield. So I haven't made my decision yet, but I think I want to do the 44.
Yeah,
You
leading
know, I
towards a
got a
little
four-wheel
less.
drive vehicle. So even in the winter, I can get there. And they said, we open every day. We have a generator here. Everything's going to be on. So I'm pretty sure I'll go 44.
Yeah.
You know, that's that path I'm going to take.
And your is looking like what? Late October, November?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that, you know, they mentioned a start date of, you know, Halloween, you know, and it might be a week later.
Yeah.
You know, so it'd be like you say, beginning of November.
Yeah.
You know, and then it will run like, if I go with the 44, you know, that's like, that's quite a few weeks, you know. The other way, 28 would be shorter, but pretty sure I'm going 44.
Yeah.
You know.
And you think, so overall though, do you just, right now you feel with a lower testosterone, do you just feel more just kind of not as pungent?
Yeah, I mean, you know, I tell my wife, I says, you know, I'm going to be watching these Hallmark movies with you, and I'm not going to be complaining anymore. You know, she likes the Hallmark movies.
Yeah.
You know, an hour in, they finally kiss, you know. And I said in my blog, I says, in the real world, you know, they'd have free cocktails, be fucking each other's brains out. But in a Hallmark movie, everything's pure. They go a whole hour, they date, they go places, and then they finally kiss, live happily ever after. And I never watch them. Like when I watch football, she'll watch a Hallmark.
Yeah.
And I said to her, now I take these testosterone blockers, I might be watching some Hallmark movies with you. Who the fuck knows? You know?
You might be. I mean, you know, yeah, we thought we were going to be hunting ghosts this Halloween, Vindog, and you're going to be just watching love stories.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah.
You know, I had to put a lot of stuff on hold.
Yeah.
I had plans for this summer too. I mean, I was going to, I thought maybe I'd get on the Cape Cod League and do some coverage on that. And then when I hurt my knees and I hurt my groin, and I had this diagnosis in May, I just never got a chance to do that. So, I mean, you know, it kind of, you know, it puts your life on hold. It puts your thoughts on hold. It's like, you know, we all sit here, we look out into the horizon, and we can see all the way to the horizon. And then you get a diagnosis like this, and that's as far as you can see.
Yeah.
You know, looking beyond yourself. And, you know, like my doctor said, he goes, Vin, you're kind of like into yourself right now, and you're probably making it a little bit worse because you're focusing so much on everything. You got to relax a little bit. You still have to do things. You still have to enjoy yourself a little bit, which I find difficult. That's me. Maybe other people are different. But most of the guys I talk to, the same thing happened to them when they got the news. It just blows you away.
What kind of got to you the most about it? Just like the sense of doom, like, hey, this is.
Well, I mean, you know, you start thinking to yourself, we all have an expiration date.
Mm-hmm.
You don't know what that day is.
Yeah.
And I'm 66. So you start thinking, so this is when I get off the bus? I don't know.
Yeah.
Maybe this is it. You know, like Jim Morrison, the book, No One Gets Out of Here Alive. You don't know how long you got. I mean, even in your 40s, you don't know. You know, you see your friends. I know I had high school buddies that passed before the end of high school. You know, You don't know how long you got. And all of a sudden you realize that, okay, I was on a good run there for a while. I was feeling pretty healthy. Now all of a sudden, you know, the wheels are falling off, and I don't know what I got for time. You know, and then you start talking to doctors, and you start researching a little bit, and you realize, hey, these guys are good at what they do. They've got this kind of figured out, and they're going to treat you. And you got to listen to them. You got to believe what they're doing. It's going to save your life. So it took me a while to get to that. But all the good stories that I hear from people on Twitter and, you know, other people who contacted me through Barstool, it's good stuff. People have survived it, you know, and are doing well past the surgery or beyond the radiation. So it's definitely treatable. It's curable. And, you know, everybody's different. So, you know, I'm not going to make any wages, but I feel good about my doctors. I feel good about the treatment. And, you know, I just want to get through the stuff I have to get through and then start the radiation. And then, of course, they check your PSA number. And for all the guys out there, you know, get your PSA number checked. I didn't even know what it was, honestly. get it checked, especially if it runs in your family. You know, and you really should be getting it checked once you turn 40. They're talking really young now.
Yeah.
But for a while, you know, they kind of felt that the PSA check wasn't worth it because they were finding a lot of people that had elevated numbers, but they didn't have prostate cancer. So now the alarm goes off, all the systems go in place, people get nervous, and then poof, no, you don't have cancer. So they stopped doing them for a while during the 2000 teens is what my doctor said. They weren't making them mandatory. So I never really had a PSA test. And then when I finally did, and I realized what it was, and like, holy shit, I wish I had had them all along. But what they do is they find a number that's starting to elevate, they'll track it, they'll follow it. And you'll have PSA tests every 6 weeks to see if the number is increasing. And that's pretty, you know, full of anxiety too.
Yeah.
Every time you go in and have a test, you're just waiting to hear what the number is.
Yeah.
My wife goes through that with, you know, her CA-125, her ovarian cancer. They test her and the number gets elevated. You freak out. You know, you think, oh, shit, it's back.
Yeah.
You know, and, you know, it's everything about it. I mean, I remember in science class, teacher saying to me that human beings are the only mammals that know they're going to die. All the other animals don't know it. They run around, they do what they do, thinking that they don't even know what death is. And we do. But we tend to put it off and we don't focus on it. And we think we're going to live forever until you get a diagnosis. And then you realize, oh, wait a minute, that science teacher was right.
Mm-hmm.
You know, we have expiration dates. We don't know what they are, but we have them. We're going to do everything we possibly can to extend that date and live a life. I mean, I got a grandson. I got kids that are getting married next year. My son Dylan is getting married. I don't want to miss out on that stuff.
Yeah.
You know, I want to be around for that. So I got to do what they tell me to do. It's not always pleasant. I got to do it. I got to get through it. My wife did it 5 times. I can do it.
Yeah, you absolutely can. You absolutely can. And I'm, you know, I'll be, you know, myself and the rest of Barstool, you know, we're behind you too.
I'll tell you, you know, Dave and Erica have been really good because when I first found out, I had to tell them. So I sent them an email, let them know, and they both responded. And then when I got into the treatment part of it, I let them know, and they said, hey, listen, just take all the time you need. If you need our help, give us a call. So, I mean, really good, really good. And I'm kind of lucky to work for Barstool and be working out of my house. If I had been a teacher, it would have been different. If I'd been a plumber, it would have been a lot different. I was self-employed. So this is, you know, this is good. You know, I can still blog. I can still do what I have to do, and I can get my treatment.
And isn't it interesting, too, how you said you walked away from that blog a month and a half ago? And,
yeah,
you know, now that you got it out there, it's one of the things that made you feel better was people reaching out and giving you, you know, past
I
experiences
felt
they've had.
really good when I finished that blog and published it. You know,
Good.
It's like I had to do it. I had to let people know, you know, you can talk about prostate cancer. You don't have to keep it secret.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's something that men face. 1 in 6 men get prostate cancer. You know, I said to a buddy down the street, I said, I wasn't one of the lucky 5. And he said to me, he goes, my father got prostate cancer when he was 65, and he went for the surgery. And on his deathbed at 87, not from prostate cancer, he said to me, if I had it to do all over again, I would have went with radiation. So that kind of weighed heavily on me when I made my decision.
Really?
I thought about his father, who I knew. You know, it's someone I knew. He grew up in Sharon. His family did. I did. And we both moved to Norton. And we lived pretty close to each other here in Norton. I wasn't a friend of his, but I knew him. And when he told me that story, it impacted me. And he said that, you know, he has his PSA checked all the time because it runs in his family. Now, they asked me, did anybody in your family have cancer? None. My father lived to be 90, 91.
Wow.
And he didn't have cancer. My uncles didn't have cancer. No one did.
Now, may I ask
So it's
why he didn't
60
want to? Why he didn't want to switch over? Why did he regret getting the surgery?
His son said to me that, you know, this don't forget, this was 20 something years ago.
Yeah.
So they hadn't perfected the surgery part. Now they do robotic surgery. So it's a little different. And they go, It's like arthroscopy,
Mm-hmm.
two tiny holes, slight incision in the middle, pull the prostate out. But, I guess back then it was more difficult surgery with longer, effects afterwards.
Yeah.
And he wishes he had gone with the radiation. I mean, at one point you got to pull the trigger, and there is a difference, between surgery and radiation. When you have the surgery, they go in, they cut it out, and you got nerves attached to it, and they try and preserve the nerves so you still have feeling down there. But in my case, they told me that one set of nerves they couldn't save. So I'd be dependent on only one set of nerves instead of two. They couldn't guarantee me that I'd function the way I wanted to down there. So that was one consideration. And there's a little bit of, downtime afterwards. There's a little bit of getting used to strengthening all your muscles down there so you can go to the bathroom again and stop and start when you want to.
Mm-hmm.
So there was a lot. And then with the radiation, there's a lot too. But the thing is about the surgery, you've got a second bullet in your revolver. So if the surgery doesn't work and there's still cancer in there, they can use radiation to get at it. So that was the one thing that kind of tripped me up a little bit. Maybe I shouldn't go with the radiation. Maybe I should go with the surgery. But in the end, when I really weighed it out and I went back and forth, I said, you know what? I think the radiation's for me,
Mm-hmm.
and I made the choice to go radiation. And most of my friends who I talked to about this, they all said, yeah, I think I would have won radiation too.
Yeah.
So it was just a decision. And they all tell you, the doctors, there's no wrong answer. And they have statistics that whether you go surgery or radiation, the results are almost identical. So both of them can be life-saving, procedures for you.
Yeah.
But I never thought in a million years that, I'd be dealing with this. I was totally shocked when my doctor called me up and told me this. Is like, what? I couldn't believe it. And the urologist said to me that, Vin, it's nothing that happened last week or 2 months ago. And this has been growing in there for 10 years. It's a very slow growing cancer. And, they said that at one point, they thought that 2/3 of all men died with prostate cancer, not from it. But now they're doing autopsies on older men, and they're finding out that 3/4 of men have prostate cancer.
Wow.
And they're unaffected by it in their regular life, and they don't die from it. They live with it. It doesn't spread. And that's what happens.
Wow.
So it's pretty crazy.
Did they say how long it, like, if you didn't go in at that time, like how fast?
Well, my doctor said to me, my regular doctor said, if you hadn't fucked up your knees and needed surgery and then came into me and I said, let's do a physical and had that full blood run up, you wouldn't have known.
Yeah.
And then a year goes by. Next thing you know, that crazy alien pounds his way out of there and spreads to your bones and other organs, and now you're in a different situation. So I was kind of lucky. Mm-hmm. So like with any cancer, early recognition of it is,
pretty key.
The way to go.
Yeah.
You want to find out. No one wants to find out they have cancer, but you do want to find out if you have it as soon as possible.
Wow. Well, Vindog.
Still watching the Patriots.
Yeah.
Still watching the Red Sox. I'm still writing jokes.
Yeah, you're right. And you also, I mean, now, like Dave and Erica said, take as much time as you need. If there is a need for a meme war and you're 5 minutes late, you have an excuse now.
I have an excuse. It's just like this meeting. I forgot my password.
Yeah.
I get so many freaking passwords, and I went through all my passwords, right?
Yeah.
And I'm like, I don't have any more passwords. That's it. I don't know what happened. And then when I redid the password, I went back in to log in. I would have been on time. It said that I had attempted 5 logins, and I had to wait a half hour. Imagine that. I'm in Zoom jail for a half hour. I had to make you wait, But, I'll tell you that the most important thing is I think when you find out you have something that's life-threatening, it changes your perspective on life. All the things that you appreciated a little bit, whoa, now you appreciate it. I'm sitting here right now talking to you. I'm looking out over the laptop, and I can see my play equipment out there when my kids grew up and played in the yard. I look around the house. I see spots. We watched the Patriots win Super Bowls. And we saw Mark McGuire and Sammy Sosa battle home runs. And there's a lot of memories here, and they're great memories. And it's nice to start to appreciate them even more, because life is, even when life is bad, it's good.
Yeah.
It's much better than the alternative, you know? And you got to keep reminding yourself, anybody who's out there having a tough time with their life is good. Don't knock it. It's the greatest thing in the world. And when you find out that maybe your life is being threatened by cancer or some other disease, you realize it. Everything in my life is good. My family, my friends, my house, my job. It's all good. I don't want to leave. I want to stick around. A few more trips around the sun for me. I want that. I really want that. I didn't realize how badly I wanted it until it was threatened. And now I want it in the worst way. Now I'm the best man at my son's wedding next August.
Oh, wow.
I want to give a speech. I want to be healthy. I want to be there. You know, my young grandson's 2.5. I want to see him. I bought a baseball glove for him, a Mizuno, a nice one. And it's an adult glove. It's like something when he's 12, 13, 14. And I bought it and I put it in a box. I said to my son, Nick, I got a glove for Jasper when he's older. It's in the closet. Anything happens to me, make sure he gets the glove. So I put in some sunglasses now, baseball sunglasses. He's got a few things in there, you know, just in case. But I want to be there for him, you know. I want to see him grow up. And, you know, that's the great thing about having grandchildren, too, is I don't look at them as a grandchild. I have 3 boys. I look at them as a 4th son. You know, it's great to have a grandson. A lot of fun. Great kid, happy, loves coming here, loves me and my wife, loves all my kids. Young people make older people very happy. You know, it's joyful. It's great. I don't want to leave this planet. I want to stick around. I want to grow old. I want to watch him enjoy his life. I want to see all my kids enjoy their life. But hey,
that's well said,
Vindog.
That's well said.
I had the idea for the merch, and I said to Pilar, I said, I'd like to just take the Barstool logo and combine it, you know, with the ribbon for prostate cancer. Something simple. And I'm telling you, within like 15 minutes, she had a picture back to me, and did a great job. The design team at Barstool did a great job with it. And, you know, we got the computer stickers, which are really nice. They sent me a hat. I haven't got a shirt yet, but a really cool hat with the Barstool logo and the ribbon for prostate cancer, adjustable in the back, navy blue. It's a great little hat. And the beautiful part of all this is Dave and Erica I said, you know, I'd like to fundraise for Dana-Farber Cancer Institute. And they were like, 100% of all the net proceeds are going to go to Dana-Farber. So that's the advantage when you buy one of these pieces of merch, whether it's the hat, the sticker, or the T-shirt. The money is going right back into, you know, Dana-Farber Cancer Institute, where they do research. And without the research, there wouldn't have been a prostate MRI, which helps with the biopsy, makes it easier for them to find the areas. They can see it because they can work off a prostate MRI and they can see it. So all the research is great stuff. My oldest son is a scientist. He's a researcher of medication in the medical field. And I can't say enough about the work that those people do. And, you know, maybe people diss them a little bit. Maybe you don't like scientists. Maybe you don't like researchers. But in the end, when you get sick and you realize these are the people that are working behind the scenes that are going to create the antidotes and the things that are going to save your life. And you got to fund that stuff. And that's what Barstool, you know, Dave is great for that. Erica, too, you know, when it comes to what he did during the pandemic for small business, the Barstool Fund, incredible. I know some restaurants in this area that benefited from that. And it was a huge thing for them. And you know, as far as this, the 100% going to Dana-Farber, incredible. Yeah. Who does that? You know, Dave Portnoy does it. Erica Nardini does it. Barstool Sports does it. It's important to them.
Yeah, you're right, Vindog. So go buy that. That's in the Barstool store. And
yeah, it's in the Barstool store, but you can also go to at Vindog56, my Twitter account, and I get it pinned to the top of my Twitter account.
perfect.
A lot of people have bought that stuff. It's amazing because you know how they throw out the little bubbles of who bought it.
Yeah,
There's a lot of people all over the United States
yeah,
that have bought hats, T-shirts, and stickers, and that just lets me know that these people are dealing with it.
mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And someone in their family might have dealt with it,
Yeah,
and they want to make sure that the research continues, and then that's why they're buying this stuff.
mm-hmm.
And it's a great way to say, "Hey, I care about, men and prostate cancer." And it's a great thing. So if there's good that can come out of it, and I can be a part of that, then it all happened for a good reason. That's how I have to look at it.
Definitely. And that's that last statement about looking out of the swing set and everything, that was very powerful stuff, Vindog. So
Yeah, it's I look back on my life, and the first thing that comes across your mind when you think that this could be cut short is, have I done enough? Did I do enough
mm-hmm.
for other people in my life? And you start thinking about it and wondering if you maybe could have done more. So you get a little bit of remorse on that. But I looked and I started thinking about it. I've done a lot for people, between the Little League and starting a plumbing program, raising 3 children, being married for 43 years. I've done the best I could. So I have no regrets about that. But I'd like more opportunities to do more for other people. And, this is how I can do it.
Yeah. You're the best, Vindog, man. You're.
I don't know if I'm the best, Eddie. You're the best.
No, I
Hey,
always
you sit there and listen to me talk about this. It's not the fruit thing. It's not the fun ice cream stories. It's not the ghost stories.
I don't care.
It's it can be a little depressing to the average person.
It doesn't matter.
Cancer,
Anytime you want, I'm here. We'll hop on. We'll do it again. And I've just always enjoyed our conversations. So
yeah, Eddie, I love talking to you, man. I think you do the best interviews.
Oh, thank you.
You do. You're a good listener. You know when to get in there.
I appreciate that.
It's a lot of fun talking to you.
Yeah.
Professional. You're a pro, man. Almost made me cry. I was going to have to call you Oprah fucking Winfrey. I got awfully close there.
I know.
That's the other thing. You told me that this medication, I'm going to get emotional. I'm like, oh my God.
No, I know.
I cry like that anyway when it comes to like happy moments, sad moments.
Yeah.
And now it's like, oh, you're going to increase that on me? Holy shit.
Yeah.
But no, I feel good about my chances. Better than the Patriots' chances of getting in a while. Yeah. The Red Sox are done.
Yeah.
So I get better chances than them. So I feel good about that. I get great doctors. Dana-Farber Cancer Institute, great hospital. Treated my wife excellent. And there's other hospitals all across the country. Good friend of mine's in Seattle. Great hospitals out in Seattle, Washington. Mm-hmm. He had a prostate issue. And until I brought it up, he wasn't going to discuss it with me. And then he said, let me tell you my prostate story. And this is a kid that I went to school with in 8th and 9th grade. And we played basketball against him in church league. And him and his cousin, Mark, they were like 6'1" in 8th grade. We called them, back then the Twin Towers. And it was a church league that had, 12 teams. There was Catholic churches, Protestant churches, Jewish temples, black churches. Everybody was there. And it was a great church league. And I was part of Beth Jacob. And my buddy Tom was part of Divine Providence. And they were the Polish church. I used to say, Tom, 25% Polish here. I could play for you guys. You want to draft me? I'll go with you. But we ended up on Beth Jacob. We went into a championship game. We were tied. And we had a playoff game for the championship. And there was 7 seconds left. We're down by 2 points. This kid, Larry, takes the ball out, throws it to me. Coach said to me, take the shot. As soon as you have the shot, just take it. And I turned around. It was a 3/4 court. But I took a 3/4 court shot on the 3/4 court. Still a long shot. I just heaved it. Nothing but net. Right? Tied the game. If it had been 3-point plays, we would have won it. And I keep telling my buddy Tom that. I said, Tom, if it was a 3-point shot in those days, we would have beat you with that shot. I said, you guys were underneath the boards, you and your cousin Mark, doing that stuff. We were taking outside shots. We would have beat you. But we went into overtime. And One of our coaches had an epileptic seizure
No.
during the game, had to stop it, continued it 2 weeks later, and the Polacks beat us by 5 points. And my buddy Tom never forgot it. He even has the clippings from the newspaper. He scored 23, I scored 19, you know. And I said, yeah, but those are 3-point shots, Tom. I would have had you, buddy. But he had prostate issues too. And he dealt with them, and he's on a watch. His numbers weren't high enough to require, treatment right now, and maybe never. So he's just on a watch list, and they keep looking at it, doing his PSA numbers, and he's under control. So, it was nice to talk to him too.
That is
great
good.
guy. Great guy.
That is good. Well, we're behind you, Vindog. We got your back.
I know you are. I appreciate that, and I feel that. I feel that.
Absolutely.
When people are behind you, you feel that.
Yes.
It makes you feel good knowing you got people there who are rooting for you.
And
I'm sure there's gonna be people celebrating too. Well, he's finally gone, that best.
The meme guy's gone. I don't got to worry about getting memed to death.
Don't worry about him anymore. But something, I do have a meme team. I have people who work with me, so we can still strike.
Yeah,
we're within striking range.
Yeah, there is. It's always there. The codes are always out there.
Absolutely.
The nuclear meme codes. Always good to talk to you, Vindog. That was honestly tough but powerful stuff, and I think a lot of people will really enjoy it. So thank you.
Okay, thank you, Eddie.
Okay, everybody, that's it for today. Go check out that merch for the hospital. What's the hospital one more time? Dana-Farber?
Dana-Farber Cancer Institute, and 100% of the net proceeds are going there. So it's basically you're making a donation, and Barstool sending you a hat, a T-shirt, or a sticker for your computer, or wherever you want to put it.
Beautiful.
And great looking logo.
It is.
It's perfect. The people at Barstool did a great job at this.
They did.
Just a great hat. You're helping. It's a good cause. Absolutely. All right, Eddie, I'll let you go.
All right, Vindog. Thank you. That's it, everybody. Thank you for listening. We'll be back on Monday. We'll see you then.